What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. We got some good fights coming up this Saturday, and we had thankfully a little bit of a break since the last time.
12 day break.
Something like
That's
that.
our last video.
Yeah, because we had to put out a lot of information because there was Saturday fight, Wednesday fight, Saturday fight again.
Yeah, it was a lot great fights. For those 3 fights in a row.
Yeah.
Who would have thought the UFC could do that? You know?
Definitely, and with this one, it's just looking at the fight card. There's a little bit less well-known names than the last couple of times.
Definitely.
Yeah,
A lot of upcomers.
Yeah, maybe a couple people making their debuts, a couple people
Having
one
their
and
second-
go, or just exactly.
second fights in the UFC. I mean, don't overlook this card by any means.
Definitely not.
There's gonna be some bangers in this.
Yeah, I mean, when two people are fist fighting, in a cage, it's every fight could be the most exciting fight of the night. It doesn't matter if it's at 5 p.m. or it's the main event at 11 o'clock.
Definitely. We've witnessed our main events be the worst fights of the night.
Yeah, and we've seen prelims that kept us on the edge of our seat before. So
right, so you never know. It's something you have to keep up. Watch the fights Saturday night. So not many big names coming up this week.
The prelims are
a lot of unknown players.
Yeah, exactly.
Fighters.
Except for the headliner.
Headliner with Caitlin Chikagian.
Yeah, and then she's fighting Antonina Shevchenko.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
a good fight.
It's so interesting because Chikagian just lost her last fight to Valentina Shevchenko. Exactly. So that's weird that in her next fight she gets to fight Antonina. Valentina's in a tough spot where there's just nobody that can beat her. No one even gets close.
Unless you bring in Amanda,
but Amanda's not going to go all the way to 25. Most likely not. She's the 35 and 45 champ. So Valentina,
she could though.
If you made that weight cut, I mean, I don't know what they fought at the first 2 times. I'm going to guess 35. I'm pretty sure. And Valentina lost both. Some controversy. Some people think she should have won at least the second one, but. She's in a weird spot where they just keep feeding her people. She doesn't really take a lot of damage in between fights. Right. She's fighting very regularly. She's staying active, and she's destroying people. And I think because Valentina had her way with Caitlin, she's going to be able to tell Antonina exactly what she needs to do against her.
Definitely. That's an advantage for Antonina.
Oh, definitely.
100%. So prelims main event, dude. Who do you got?
Prelims main event, man. I'll give. It's a 3-rounder, so I'll give. 3rd round stoppage by Antonina, because I think from what I remember in the first fight, or when Caitlin fought Valentina, she did pretty good with her range, I believe. So if she tries that with Antonina, it could give her a problem for a little bit till she figures it out. But I'll give her a 3rd round stoppage.
3rd round. I'm in the same boat as you as the winner, but I'm gonna go with decision win.
Okay. It'll just be interesting. The one thing is how much experience Caitlin has.
That's true. She's 6-3 in the UFC, where this is Antonina's 4th fight, I believe it is.
So that plays a big factor. So we'll see, and I believe, they're both going to weigh in the same, but I believe Caitlin might be a little bit of a bigger girl.
A little heavier than
so she might be able to power her down. But that's a good way to end the prelims, and then going straight into the main card. It's another female fight with Mackenzie Dern and Hannah Cyphers.
Yeah, it's a good fight. I don't know much about them. I know Mackenzie is correct me if I'm wrong, jiu-jitsu.
Man.
She's amazing jiu-jitsu.
Next level jiu-jitsu, yeah. Which we were actually just looking up a little bit about these fighters, and her mom was the one that gave her black belt.
Oh,
so that
really?
means her mom's an incredible grappler too, so since probably a very young age she's been training with her. I don't know much about Hannah Cyphers, but just from what I have, 7-1 for Mackenzie Dern. I believe Hannah's got, let's see, she's 10-4, 2-2 in the UFC, so not the best. Just based on who I know, I'll have to go Mackenzie. It seems like, yeah.
Stoppage, decision,
submission. If I had to guess, I'll go submission. Hannah's a Muay Thai fighter, I believe, but I don't think it'll play too much part in this fight. I think Mackenzie's going to be able to take her down and just implement her jiu-jitsu and end it. I'll say 2nd round submission.
2nd round?
Yeah, first might be too soon, but I'll call 2nd round.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Kenzie.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go again to go to decision.
Really? Two in a row.
Two in a row decisions. There could be a stoppage if it's gonna be a stoppage. It happen early.
Yeah.
But my gut says decision.
Okay.
Mackenzie wins.
Yeah. And it's very likely either one could happen. I just think because of her really good jiu-jitsu game, there's a chance she could get that submission win.
Definitely. And then moving up the card, we have Roosevelt Roberts versus Brock Weaver.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting little fight between them. I think it's gonna be full stand-up in my opinion the entire
It's
time.
gonna be a slugfest. This is Brock's second fight in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe Roosevelt has his fifth fight.
Something along those lines.
Fifth, sixth, something like that.
I think Brock's on like big win streak though.
Eight win streak.
8
Yeah.
in a row. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
But from what I know, Roosevelt just plays his reach better. He's got better striking, better technical fighter. But he's well rounded in the sense that if it does go to the ground, he's got a sneaky ground game. But he's good with his hands too. Where Brock he's gonna be a tough fucking fight. Like if you're going in there to fight him, you know it's almost like fighting like Clay Guida back in the day. You know you're gonna get hit. You gotta you gotta be the smarter fighter. Exactly.
He's a wild fighter. I'm going with Brock in this one.
Really?
I'm going with Brock with this one with a TKO second round.
Really? I'll honestly a little weird, but I'll go decision. Roosevelt Roberts. Yeah, I know. And just because I think Brock's gonna take the fight to him, I don't think he'll do enough to win, but I think he'll be tough enough to stay throughout all 3 rounds, and I don't think Roosevelt will be able to finish him. But that's my decision. Roosevelt Roberts, 3rd round finish. Or a 3rd round decision.
Third round, like finish. You got me all confused.
Yeah, decision.
Going up to the next fight, then we have Billy Quintillo and Spike Carlisle.
This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be the one fight on the card that a lot of people look over.
Definitely. It's their second fight in the UFC for both of them. They're both 1-0.
Both of them have big hype coming in, man. They both did really well in their Contender Series fight, and then in their first fight as well, I believe. Carlisle he finished it with like a really nasty elbow, where Quarantillo finished his with a triangle choke. So it's gonna be interesting to see from what we know. Quarantillo's the better striker, but it's kind of like they're fairly evenly matched. Where Quarantillo's just a little bit better on his feet and with his striking, and Carlisle's just a little bit better on the ground. So
does Spike's 5 win streak matter in this? Do you feel like both are?
I'd say so. I mean, 5 win streak, you're coming into the UFC, you're like, I can't let that steam die. You know, I need to prove my name in these first 2-3 fights in the UFC, or they're just gonna keep paying me $20 grand and then eventually cut my contract and I'm out of here. Like he needs this. Even though Billy's coming on a 1-0 in the UFC as well, his winning streak isn't that impressive.
No, I believe he's on a 2-fight win streak if I remember correctly.
Right. So
lost his previous fights to that. I believe Billy was in Bellator before the UFC. Yeah. Okay. From what I looked up before, but I don't know 100%. Too many fights going on at one time. But if I remember correctly, I believe Billy just came from Bellator over. So
if it comes down to a little bit better striking versus a little bit better grappling, what do you got in this one?
I got Spike the Ginger, man.
The Alpha Ginger. I'll have to agree with you on this one, but
I'm saying decision.
Yep, I agree. Decision. I think he's going to grind it out to the decision. If he can, put him up against defense, control him for all 3 rounds, and get that W and continue that winning streak. And he seems like they're both very talented. They both could have bigger names in the division eventually. But I'm just kind of leaning towards Spike right now. I think especially with his good grappling, if he works on his striking a little bit more, he could definitely become a top contender.
Definitely, yeah, makes sense. And then moving up to the co-main event.
The big boys.
The big boys. We have Ivanov and Augusto.
This is unfortunately, you know how heavyweights are.
Either they come out full swing and then they're dead.
Yeah, but you very rarely have the ones that they're gonna have an all-out war for 4 or 5 rounds. A lot of them you'll get a good round, maybe a round and a half out of it. and then it's basically leaning on each other and who's going to land that big punch.
Definitely. I mean, they're both big strikers.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I believe Ivanov's last fight was against Derek Lewis, and he lost that fight. Yeah.
But before that, he had a 2-fight win streak.
Yeah.
And before that, he lost to Dos Santos.
Dos Santos, yeah. He's not watching him. In my opinion, he's not the most entertaining heavyweight.
No, definitely not.
Right.
He's very slow.
Yeah.
But when he throws those bombs, though.
Yeah, of course.
But anybody is. But overall,
the weird thing about him, and it leads me to think that his cardio is not that good, is he has really, really good sambo wrestling, which is the same thing that Khabib has, but he just doesn't really use it. He stays on the feet and he tries to maybe outstrike people. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think maybe maybe he has bad cardio and he can't do that much wrestling.
Maybe
not. That might be the reason. But
so on this heavyweight fight, the co-main event, who do you got? Keep in mind though, Augusto's on a 5-win streak again.
I did not know that.
So who do you got?
Honestly, I mean, I'll have to go with Augusto just because he's coming off the win streak, and I mean, coming off that loss, sometimes that's going to play a lot in Ivanov's mind, and maybe this short notice fight. I think first round. I'll say first round TKO, just because they're both. Short camp, they're just going to come out here and go swinging for the fences just to end the fight because nobody's cardio is that great right now.
Fair enough. So, for this one, I'll have to go opposite of you.
Okay.
Like, I want to go Augusto, I really do. So let's make this entertaining, right?
Okay.
We'll go Ivanov with a decision win.
Okay, I can see that happening too, but I mean, unfortunately, that means they're going to be hugging for the whole time probably.
That's
but
fine.
You never know.
Let's call a bathroom break.
All right, that's good. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happening. And then, I mean, that's the co-main, so going straight into the main event, we got Tyron Woodley and Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight. I mean,
definitely.
Woodley's hometown boy.
Exactly.
St. Louis area.
He's coming up losing his belt.
Right, but he hasn't been active.
Exactly.
So we don't know what we'll receive when he comes back.
I know a lot of people are worried that he'll be too distracted, and they say that's why he lost the belt against Usman.
Yeah, because of his rap career and all
rap
that.
career, his movies, whatever that he's working on, which that stuff comes with fame, but he claims that's not a thing. He's like, no, I've been dedicated, but if you have to, let's say you train 5-6 days a week and you do 2-a-days, and then because maybe you got to go to the recording studio or you got to go film, 3 of those 6 days end up being 1-a-day training sessions. That can eventually, be the reason that maybe he wasn't in there. Exactly. He just seemed like a completely different fighter that night. He's supposed to be the better wrestler and striker. He got dominated in both by Kamaru, where Gilbert Burns has pretty good striking. I believe his last fight was when he knocked out Damian Maia, but also he's got Damian Maia level jiu-jitsu that they didn't even get to implement.
That's true. And he's also a wild fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not your technical technique fighter.
Yeah.
He's just gonna go out there and throw haymakers after haymakers. So I personally do want Woodley to win.
I want Woodley to win, of
just
course.
because he's from the town, from St. Louis.
I think, but even in my opinion, I think Gilbert is going to be a good fight for him. I just don't think he's, top 3 caliber fighter yet.
Yeah, I mean,
yet.
Even with the 11-3 record in the UFC.
Even with the 11-3, man, it's very impressive. But he needs to beat Woodley to get his name up there.
Yeah.
After he beats Woodley, he could fight, Colby, Jorge, or I wouldn't see him fighting with the title immediately, but maybe he could fight Leon Edwards next, since Leon and Tyron fell apart. But Tyron definitely needs this.
He needs this win, and then they need to link Edwards and Woodley together.
Yeah, because they've been talking a lot of shit.
They've been talking a lot of beef, man.
So, I mean, Woodley, in my opinion, has much better striking than Gilbert. And Woodley has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He won it the night he beat Darren Till with a dart stroke. Where Gilbert has really good striking, not as good, but his jiu-jitsu is just so next level that might play a part. If Tyron can stuff the takedowns, keep the fight standing, I believe this is his fight all day.
I had to go with you.
Yeah.
But I can also see an upset with Gilbert getting a knockout.
It's very possible.
With throwing those wild punches.
Yeah, very possible.
So, I mean, I'm going to Woodley as well.
Okay.
Hopefully, third round, maybe 4th round TKO by him.
Definitely over the midway point of the fight, I'd say.
Oh, definitely.
You know, especially coming off his loss.
He's gonna take it slow.
He's gonna ease into it. You know, definitely get
But he could pull up a counter.
He could go in there and get pissed, you know, be pissed that he needs something to prove and just knock Burns out. And that's the sport. You just never know nowadays.
You never know.
Yeah.
But no, it's gonna be a great card. Make sure you guys tune in. It's on ESPN this time. So
you don't need nothing to watch it.
It's on ESPN Plus. From what I see, it's on ESPN, so you can watch it.
Perfect.
No problems.
Well, we're definitely gonna be watching on Saturday.
Definitely.
For sure. So hopefully you guys are watching it too. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on our video, and we'll see you for the recap.